don't you have some real young people in your family someplace?
Yeah, I've got a couple of baby cousins.
Good. That will be the perfect age for a toy like this. I call it a comeback can. Watch what happens when I roll it down the desk.
It's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, that's because of a scientific principle called potential and kinetic energy. Have you ever heard of those words?
Not really.
All right. Well, I'll show you what's going on inside there. It's relatively easy to make. But first, I want you to understand what potential and kinetic energy mean. The word potential means stored, and kinetic means moving. Set the mousetrap.
All right.
Now, when you pull back a spring like that, that's kinetic energy, the energy of motion. And now, when you get it stored in the spring, that's potential. Ooh, watch your finger.
Mm-hmm.
That's potential energy, the energy ready to go.
All right.
Okay, now how can you convert it back to kinetic energy, the energy of motion?
By setting it off?
Okay, you got the pencil, give it a... Okay, so we're transferring energy, both potential and kinetic, and back and forth all the time. So here's what you're doing with those two forms of energy inside the can. When you roll the can down the table, it's kinetic energy, right? The energy of motion. Look what happens inside.
There's part of a pipe and some elastic bands.
Mm-hmm. What happens when you push it and it goes down the table like this?
Well, the weight is probably heavier than the can and the elastic bands, so it holds its place.
Mm-hmm.
But the elastic bands twist.
Right. And then what happens when it gets to the end of its run? You've stored the energy in the rubber bands, right? By twisting them up like you did in the spring of the mousetrap.
Well, the rubber band unwinds.
Unwinds, and that's what makes the can come back. Okay, so it's relatively easy to make. Out of a coffee can, some plastic tops, some matchsticks. Okay, give it a push. See how close you can come to the wall and watch it come back. You can see why I call it the comeback can.